we will be starting with marbling, the rough stone texture, and draping of the hexagon dummy, all three of it together. Okay, so I have the same blue color fondant, a bit of white. So I'm just going to do some marbling part here, and that is for the rough stone texture. It is the same fondant which was rolled out. It didn't have to be like exact round disc, but it should be rolled a bit thicker and left out in room temperature so the outside kind of gets dried out. I have two discs like that for the rough stone, and I also have some fondant. It is the same color. I made balls, small balls, and it was in the oven. You kind of bake it in the oven. Okay. Bake it in the oven, so like say maybe for 15 minutes at 150°C, or then you could just leave out for some more time. And once it is baked and then kind of cool down, you can just hear the sound, right? So what basically happens, you can just break this, okay? And when you break that, they are very dry and then you get the bits. And these bits will be used for um, the rough stone effect, which I will be making and showing it to you. So this I have, and then I also have a blowtorch. In some parts, I'm just going to also use a blowtorch to do the crackle stuff. And then the entire thing comes together like a rough stone texture with the marbling. Okay. So first let us do the marbling part. What is which blue color fondant is this? This is royal blue color fondant. Here, royal blue color fondant. Fondant color for the name. We just check royal blue. Royal blue of Magiculata. Looks like navy blue also. So let me just check. So I'm just going to take a portion, knead it. Just going to roll this up into thin logs. I'm also going to have some white. You can use any color, like 2 colors or 3 colors, depending on what are the shades you want to work with marble. Ma'am, go make those balls. And ma'am, go make those balls. You said to bake at 150° for how long, ma'am? And if you bake, the fondant won't melt. You can do that for 15 minutes to about say 20-25 minutes is also fine. They will melt inside the oven, but then all the moisture will go off in that time. You take it out, and when they're still hot, they will be sticky and soft. You need to let it to cool down completely, and then they'll become like solid bits. I'm just stretching out the log. I'm just going to place the alternate blue and white. So you want to do just the marble without the rough stone, that is also possible. So I'll just work with the marble first. One more I will maybe add. Okay, so now I have all of them together. Now what I'm going to do, see there are different ways of doing marbling. There's no right or wrong way, but then what is the effect that we like at the end of it, okay? So I'm just going to hold these ends and then just twist it. Okay, and then I'm just going to roll it like so. And then I'm just going to roughly give a knead and make it into one whole ball of fondant. So you don't over knead, or otherwise the color will just blend and start bleeding on each other. Okay, so you have the fondant come together. And now this I'm just going to roll. Now if you just need marble, you can just stop with this and not do the rough stone stuff. Rough stone is nice when you just do them for competitions, and they're like the skill-based techniques, which is nice. I'm going to check if marble on which side I'd like. Maybe this sounds. We could change the side here as you're rolling and seeing which side you want to drape. I'm not going to roll it very thin. Now, if you have to start draping a cake with a marble, you can check for whichever side you like, and then you can go on and then drape it. Okay. So now what I'm going to do, set this part aside, and this is the fondant that has been drying out from yesterday, right? So I'm just going to put some effort and roll this. Now, when I roll a fondant, sheet of fondant that's been drying, it will just crackle on the top. Now you're seeing it. Just a bit of difference that you can see. Let's make it a bit dark. No. So it is starting to crackle in this part. They can't see, no? It's like too bright. Okay, let me roll it up a little bit more so you can see. So now you can see it is just crackling naturally. Okay. I'm just going to do this too, both of them. Not sure if you can see. So that is a non-crackled one, and then here you can see the texture is there. On the top, is it better? Visibility is there on the top. Top. So you can see the crackling, right? So that's how it is. After I have just rolled it, you can see the right, the crackle texture of the fondant is kind of looking like this. After the sheet of fondant that was rolled and dried out yesterday, and now I've just rolled it, I'm making it look like that. So I will do this to the other sheet as well. So you want the same color to have a natural crackle effect. Then you let the sheet of fondant a bit thicker sized one, allow to just dry outside on the room temperature. And then when you roll it thin, they kind of become flexible. It's not like solid or, hard, but just that you have a nice crackled effect by itself. So I have two of these sheets, and then I have this marble also. I'm just going to use the blowtorch. I just go and burn up a few places, not all. I don't want to crackle all of it. Just about one small section. If you want the crackle, you can do to the entire sheet. For this look of it, the rough stone, because I just want textures here and there to have like an uneven finish. That's the goal. I'll just do on the same part where I've done like 2-3 times, because just doing once sometimes is just not enough for a proper crackle effect. And after you've done, you just need to allow it to cool down a bit. While it's still hot, you can't be going over and then rolling on it. So it's exactly the same thing. It happens inside the oven. It just melts in the beginning, and once the heat goes off, it dries. Okay, so the blowtorch thing is done. What I'm going to do, the next part will be to just break down a few. I have a white plate. I'll just break them on the white plate so it is easier for you to see, and also you can just pick it up. And what I'm going to do, I'm just going to add a few pieces of this bits of dry fondant here and there. And then I'm just going to roll and then spread it out again. I'm also going to get these pieces in between and then attach them. I'll just go here. Okay, so the bits are here. I'm just having some shortening here. I'm just going to apply spread some shortening. You call it margarine also. I'm going to pick this up and press it down. Just in few places. Press it well. Also, I'm just going to bring this somewhere in between. So I'll just use the craft knife and I'm going to cut a portion here. Bring this one in here. Pia, glue, water, edible glue. Or water is also fine. So I'm just going to bring this part here and let me just try and attach this one here. I'll see how it works. So I will just checking the position. So once I have the positions right, I'll just put some glue and then bring them together. Top. Let me just probably cut a bit here alone. And in that part, I'll just add this. That's edible glue. I think the recipe is given. It's just nothing but Tylose or CMC mixed with water. So I'm just applying it wherever the joints are there. Just making sure the joints are stuck well. Obviously, because there is glue, I don't want the glue to go to the table, or when I'm rolling, there'll be moisture there, it could just stick. So I'm just bringing them together. So it's kind of stuck well. Just pinching the joints together. because there is glue. On the glue also these will stick. So I'll take some more of this. So I'm just going to roll this out. By now, the area where the blowtorch was done, that also would be dried out. What I need to now check is to see if the bottom is not sticking with the glue, bottom of the fondant sheet. So I'll just gently pull this and put some corn flour and then place it back. I'm just going to dust some corn flour on the top as well. Now use a rolling pin. So if it is just going to split out, just make sure you pinch the edges. So it's stuck well. As you roll, you will know if it is stuck properly or not. I'm just going to overlap it a bit as well. Now roll it. And if it is splitting, just pinch it. So you can see, I'm not sure where you're able to see on the top, like maybe you could wait a bit more. The area where I had done the blow torch is cracking open so nicely. You can see that part is here. So now I'm just going to drape this on a hexagon dummy. So you can see that's like a really beautiful texture coming together with marbling and then the rough stone, and then there is the natural crackle, which is on this part and this part where the dried fondant was rolled today. And then this larger cracks have come from the blowtorch. So like so many different things are put together, and these are technically high standard ones. But when you are participating in like a wedding cake competition and in cake events or so, because a client is not going to come to you and then ask for a rough stone texture, but it is up to you to just decide on a relatively advanced technique, and they will come in handy during the times of when you're participating in a competition. And this is one such. But obviously the stenciling that I'm going to teach is like a normal one, which you can use it on your order as well. Obviously for an order, your client is not going to ask for it. However, you could do that yourself to a particular tier, and that will still be nice. So I'm just closing on the opening part. So I just want to gently get this onto a rolling pin, probably the other one. So I'm not going to move this rolling pin, 1 feet rolling pin. Okay. So now I have the dummy here. So this fondant is quite enough for me to drape the hexagon. Okay. Now, how to drape a dummy. So that comes in handy because we have all 3 cakes and then we will be learning the actual stacking and stuff like that. But when you go for competitions, obviously you're allowed to do with dummies, right? So decide your dummies and then look for the placement and see if they, are coming out well and how the composition is and the look wise, what is the size and all that you decide. And once you have the dummy, the first thing is to know how to drape it. So I have shortening with me. I'm just going to have a very thin spread out of shortening all around. So like I said, circles are quite good to do the paneling method. I chose hexagon to show in a dummy. The same logic works for cake as well. Also, for square also it is the same. The square you will have only like 4, but here 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 you have on a hexagon. So you can follow the same technique for a square cake or a square dummy as well. But if you have a round dummy, then follow the same paneling method. A very thin layer, not too much. So that one is done. I'm just going to roll this sheet of fondant and put that onto the dummy. So I'm going to use the 1 feet rolling pin. I'm just going to get this here. Could you see? I'm just unrolling it. And what happens here is, obviously there is a bit of shortage here, but I could patch up also. But the first thing what I need to do is hold these corners and attach the sides first and get this pleat onto the corners. Sides are first stuck. And get the pleat onto the corners, hold them. Press it well and make sure the sides are. So sides don't get the tears. Now I'll use 2 smoothers and go to every corner. I'll just move one of the smoother, hold this on one corner and move this smoother, and I will just cut through the excess. So this excess just got cut and you have like a sharp, neat edge. Okay, so I will do that to all the corners. The stirring up is happening because of the extra attachments, but obviously, like say for a smooth fondant, these extra tabs are not going to be in picture. Now again, I'm going to hold this on the corner and the other one, I will just do up and down. I'll do this up and down until I have that one cut. So 2 over third one. So if it is a square, obviously you will have 4 such corners. Just keep moving this up and down. This is kind of getting more tight. What I will do, get the excess at the bottom removed so it's not dragging around. I will cut the bottom and make them neat. So holding 2 fondant smoothers and then chucking out the excess is the easiest way to get sharp edges for the square, also the hexagon. Let me cut the excess. I think that's the last one. Oh, there's one more. The corners are done. What I'm going to do is try and see if I'm able to push this down to whatever height of this dummy. If that's possible, I could just extend it a little bit. So with dummies, this feasibility is there. Obviously, with cake, you can't do. But a bit of it, yes, you can. Or the other way, because anyway, this is a rough stone. You could add in some shortening there. And then do a patch. I'll just sit through and then just cut out. This bit, I could just extend that fondant itself. Just brings down the fondant and just covers up that side of the dummy. Here also, let me try. I'm just trying to seal. Here again, a little bit that is seen. Let me try to bring it closer to seal that. Obviously, because this leverage is there because of the rough stone texture, and then there are anyway the joints are there. So it will still be nice if I'm going to have the cracks come in, and then, but my goal here is the dummy shouldn't be seen. And that's the only thing I am focusing right now. But I'm bringing in all the fondant all the way down, and wherever the dummy is exposed, I'm just filling it up with fondant, either with the same fondant that is there. I'm just extending it. And then if I need to cut off the excess, then I will do that. So obviously that is the last part, I think. Any bit is fine. So all the sides are covered. Dummy is not exposed. All the excess cut. And then I want to just check for the top sharp edges. Obviously, if that is going to damage the texture, or the rough stone is just going to move out of place, I'll just not meddle so much with it. Let me just clean up a bit. Okay, so that's like a beautiful rough stone texture. A marbling and stuff like that is like, looks seriously gorgeous. Okay, now as the last thing that I said, I'm just going to check if I'm able to fix this rounded edge here. So I'm just going to hold this on one side completely, and this one will be on the top, and I will just push it out. So you can see the difference between this one and the rounded side. You can see, right? This is sharp and this is round. So this sharp I will do to all the sides. Pushing it by holding this with good amount of pressure. So sharp edges and sharp corners on a hexagon with a rough stone texture, marbling, and obviously quite a bit of it. Nice. So you know what you have to work on when you go on for the next competition. But obviously, see, that bit of dummy being exposed, if you're going for a real-time competition, the judges will be looking out on any place. Perfection and imperfection is one main stuff when it comes to judging on any competition for that matter. Okay, so that looks beautiful, but then I'm not sure if you'll be able to add this gorgeous looking piece into our tiered cake, because the size I wanted is a little bigger than this. But this has gone a little smaller. The 8-inch should come and sit on top of this. We'll see how it goes. Otherwise, we might have to just set this aside and stack our 3 tiers. Right. So that is a beautiful looking rough stone.